Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great most honorable well, and shalom to the elect that are listening and learning and growing in faith. And you know, in prophecy, man, we see a lot of these. What's been happening a lot is the beginning of famines. You had over there in Venezuela, you had people that were basically, there was reports of people eating each other. You had mystery meats, and these things are happening all around the world. And throughout history, you've had famines. Famines are recorded in the scriptures. And this time that we're going into, particularly to the west, over there in the land of America, Babylon, okay, and these different European countries, the west is about to get messed up by these famines, man. And if you've been keeping up with the alternative news, a lot of these food production plants are being, having accidents, fires, and different, events that are causing them to be basically out of service, which is all by design, in the same way that you've had, certain elites or lesser luminaries that work for the elites that are buying out these farmlands, these croplands, and that's been going on for a while now. Now, what I did is I typed in the word famine on my Bible app, and I'm just gonna get a couple scriptures to show you that famine is prophesied in the scriptures. There is indeed going to be a famine, okay, of food, of being able to eat. People are going to actually starve to death, man. All right, and that's one of the tools, okay, that Esau, the devil, is using. He's orchestrating all of this, because when you squeeze people of the food, they're easier to control. And that also brings about chaos, because people start getting really desperate, man. Okay, you see how people behave in Black Friday sales. Well, think about how much more when their bellies are empty. Okay, so I'm gonna get a couple scriptures. I was just going through this, and it's just gonna be hitting different points. But I just thought I'd do a word search, for this lesson. So this is Job chapter 5. In fact, I'll click into this one. This is Job chapter 5, verse 19. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. That's talk regarding what the salvation, okay, the salvation of the elect from the coming destruction, the elect of Israel. It says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword, because the elect are going to be protected, in that time. The scriptures say that the angels are basically around about them that fear the Lord, man. Okay. So in the time of famine, when everyone else is basically unstable, they're losing it, and pining away, as it is written, my servant shall eat. We're going to be looked after. That's in Isaiah the 65th chapter. So it says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. And there's many examples, which I didn't click on them, but when you read up, there's many examples in the scriptures of, in times of famine, when men of the Lord were being looked after. Elijah comes to mind as an example. He was actually being fed by ravens. Different miraculous things were happening, and it's no different in this time. We're going to be looked after, man. Okay. Well, you got to think back to even in the wilderness, the Lord gave what the rain manna from heaven. Okay. But hey, that's an example, and I gave Elijah as an example with the ravens feeding him. I believe they fed him twice a day. Okay. So there's many examples of that in the scriptures, where the Lord feeds his people. Now, particularly in this time, we're going to be looked after. It says, my servants shall eat. So those that are serving Yahweh Shmi Shai, okay, are going to be looked after. This is Psalms chapter 33, verse 18. Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. And we hope in the Lord's mercy that we can be saved. Okay? It says to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. All right? And that's our hope. When we read these scriptures, you know, the terrible times that are coming, everything that we're seeing in the news, okay, our faith, because, you know, what Esau's looking to do is he's going to put a squeeze on the people. And the way that these elites rule, one of their mottos is order ab chaos, meaning order out of chaos. They're going to present the solution, they're going to present the order in a moment of chaos. And their solution ultimately is going to solidify total control, which is through the MOTB. Okay? And remember the scripture saying in Revelation 13, when you go to the MOTB prophecy, which we should all know by now, okay? And I'm saying MOTB because we have to speak like this, otherwise I take the videos down, okay? You should know what that is. That digital all. When that prophecy comes to pass, where it's made mandatory, you know, one of the things is that it says that you can't buy or sell save you had it, so you can't transact. Okay, so everything is a transaction. It's all, you know, when you go to the supermarket, when you go to buy food from a place or whatever, buy materials to cook food, okay, what do you need? You need to be able to buy and sell. So those that serve the Lord, that fear the Lord, okay, you know, we that have faith in Yahweh Shmi Shai, we're not going to take the MOTB. So we're going to be trusting fully as we do. We trust in the Lord. Okay, our trust and our hope is in the Lord and his mercy, and to sustain us in that time as he has promised, you know. So let me go back to the list. This is Psalms chapter 37, verse 18. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. Okay? So again, that's another precept with Isaiah 65. We're going to be looked after, man. All right, let me go back now. And these are, you know, comforting scriptures. These are the kind of scriptures that we need to be meditating on as we can see the times approaching, man. Now, let me jump down a bit because 2nd Ezra's really goes into this famine in this time that we're going into, amongst other scriptures. So this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 5. It says, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So famine is a part of that destruction that's coming. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 49. I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. Let me quickly click into that because I wanted to read a particular part of 2nd Ezra 15. Okay. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 15. It says, For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Because it's going to be mayhem. People are going to be fighting against each other. Okay? For there shall be sedition among men, which means a violent inciting an uprising. Okay? And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Because people are going to so lose it, they're just going to go against, you know, their government. Are going to go against the authoritative figures, man. It's going to be complete chaos. One thing that comes to mind is you got the movie El Cid. And in one of the scenes in El Cid, what they were doing is they were laying siege to one of the fortresses, and the people inside, obviously, because anytime you got a siege, you know, they stop. One of the tactics in war is to stop the movement of food in and out. So whatever stocks you've got in that fortress, in that city, within those walls, that's what you survive on, you know. And it got to a point in the movie where after a lot of time, people were basically starving. And one of the tactics that El Cid employed is that in the movie he threw bread over the walls, and in that mayhem, it was just, when people were going for that bread, including some of the soldiers. Okay, a lot of the soldiers that were there were basically being overthrown by the mob. So that's an example of how crazy it can get when people are deprived of a basic necessity. Okay, and people are going to go all out, different factions, different belief systems. This world is divided, man. That's part of what the Lord had in store in his prophecies. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And we've seen that over here. We've seen the lockdowns and the different measures. That's basically talking about martial law. And it's going to get real crazy whenever you watch these like end time movies, post-apocalyptic movies. What do they show? They show the army troops. They're at certain cordoned off places. There's gates. That's martial law, man. Where you're not going to be able to just move around freely. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So the pride is going to be brought low, man. Okay? There's going to be a lot of death in these streets. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but he shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. Okay? All out warfare. These streets, all these places, you got these residential areas full of people. People are going to be at each other, man. Okay? They're going to be at each other. Anyone that can't defend themselves is weak or whatever, they're going to be taken out. It says, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. There's going to be so much tribulation. Remember Jacob's trouble, a time like never before, pursuant to Daniel 12:1. There's going to be so much tribulation and a lack of bread that people are just going to go all out, man. Okay, it's going to be crazy. And that's going to give even more reason for Esau to send in his troops and really clamp down. Okay, but in that time, okay, the elect are going to be looked after, man. We hope that we're of that number. We hope to be protected in that time. And we read these scriptures. Okay, we read these different comforting scriptures where we are going to be satisfied, and we are going to, my servant shall eat. That we are going to be looked after in these times, man. Okay, these basic necessities. We don't have to take no thought for it because the Lord is going to look after us. Okay, that's very comforting, man. Let me read a couple more of these scriptures and then I'll close out. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16 verse 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. So there's going to be great death, man. And a lot of people, and I'm going to read one of the scriptures that's going to go into it, a lot of people are going to die from the famine too. It says, the beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? This is verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Okay, so that's all part of what? That's all part of the destruction. That's all part of the punishment of Yahweh Shemiel Shai. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that's what's happening, man. You can see that. You see inflation. People think that they're in that peace and safety spirit. They think everything's okay. Okay. Before you know it, man, a lot of people are just going to be out there hungry, not being able to do nothing. Out of work, the grinding shall cease. And they're going to be at each other's throats. All right, let me see. I'll read a couple more. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 22. And I'll close out on this one. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. So there's many that are going to die, okay, of hunger. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So ultimately, man, destruction is coming, okay? A lot of people are going to die by this famine, and a lot of people are going to die by the sword because it's prophesied. And remember, the Lord said what? The slain of the Lord shall be many, man. Okay? This is gonna, hey, death is gonna have that hurrah, man. Is really gonna go. The spirit of death is gonna be, you know, on the earth, man. Okay, a lot of people are gonna be completely just in a desperate, destitute space, and just basically gonna be destroyed. All this pride and pomp that you see now, this is, hey, that's gonna change very quick, man. Okay, you see what's happening all around the world. What is it's gonna come to the West? Okay, and it's gonna intensify and intensify, man, until the Lord's return. So, hey, Lord willing, this is just a quick one, and Lord willing, it was edifying in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai Shemachakadash. With that, man, I'm gonna say shalom, shalom to the elect.